You know what, honey?
Hmm.
I think we might actually be real overlanders finally, at least to the American definition. I'm excited.
Me too.
So let's head on out because real overlanders only drive on dirt roads. Make it so, number one.
Who made you captain?
I actually have a little book that says U.S. Coast Guard Captain on it.
Yeah, well, I'm the chief medical officer, so I'm the only one who can relieve you of duty.
Beverly Crusher has a point. Let's hit the road. Hold up. How did we get here? Where's Denny? And what the hell is that on the roof of Denise the 4Runner? Well, Denny is tucked into a secret bunker in Normandy, France, and we are traveling the States in Denise. 2 days ago, NaturNest was kind enough to send us their brand new Sirius 3 rooftop tent. We were drawn to their Sirius models because we wanted a hardshell tent and the sleeping area of a queen-size bed. Many of the tents out there are closer to the size of a double, while the Sirius 3 has 63 inches by 86 inches of space. It's safe to say the tent was packaged well, and with the help of the farm crew, we were able to lift it onto the roof of Denise. The tent weighs 177 pounds, so we upgraded the roof rack crossbars to the Thule Evo Series square bars with a 220-pound dynamic weight rating. Note, there's dynamic weight rating, which is when you're driving, and the factory crossbars are rated for 165 pounds. Static weight is the rating when the vehicle is stationary, and I've never found an actual rating for this, but it's much more than dynamic. The Thule crossbars also do not have a curve, so the tent lays flat on them. There was a learning curve to opening the tent, but we eventually figured it out. One of the features we like the most is the X-frame, which allows there to be more headspace and a window at the head of the bed. We'll share more about the new tent in time, but this gets you up to speed for now. We also want to say thank you to NaturNest for sending us their Sirius 3, and you'll find a link in the video description below. If we want to cover 1,700 miles in 4 days, there's not enough time to mess around on the dirt roads, so we're tipping our hats to Grandma and Grandpa and heading west on Highway 50. Did you know trees are not necessarily native to this part of the country? The trees you do see are from old homesteads, and the long rows of trees are called shelter belts. They serve as windbreaks for soil erosion and moisture evaporation. Most of the shelter belts in this part of the country were initiated by FDR in 1934 after the Dust Bowl. Along Highway 50, there are also trees from Lady Bird's Beautification Act of '65. I just don't know which trees they actually are. We arrived in Dodge City with a dirty windshield, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. So we only took on fuel and tried to get out of Dodge. Oh. Ooh. Why'd you have me roll down the window for that, honey? Oh. You should know better than that. Oh. But look, a bug hit the camera. I thought the little magnetic wide-angle lens came off.
God, that's
Oh.
terrible.
Gosh.
Should capture that.
Well, yeah, that looks really good. Yeah. Oh. As we head west, it's much of the same in terms of landscape. Agriculture as far as the eye can see, and Americans working hard to feed our nation. That is until you get to the otherwise nondescript town of Syracuse, Kansas. Here, if you venture about a mile off the highway, you'll find sand dunes and a great place to air down the tires and have some fun. But not today. We're coming up on another quirky place, Coolidge, Kansas, the home of Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's Vacation.
I like it better than Tuna Helper myself. Don't you, Clark?
You're the gourmet around here, Ed.
You're sitting for Lucy, Colorado.
Now that we've entered Colorado, I'm literally out of useless information to share with you, because aside from driving through it a few times, we know nothing about Colorado. Other than we really want to come back when the high mountain passes are open and the landscape is absolutely beautiful. We have made good time today and are just about to Mark and Janelle's place outside of Salida. We first met in Quartzsite back in 2017 and have always enjoyed crossing paths, but this time it's been 5 years since we've last seen each other. Lucia approves. Okay, well, reality was we got to our friends Mark and Janelle's and just visited all afternoon and evening. It's dark. We set up the tent. It is weird kind of being up here.
I like it. Lucy and I had fun while you were finishing doing your stuff down below.
Yeah.
And she's digging it right now. She's making her little nest down here.
You know, the one common thing that all my guy friends that I talk to, they said like, hey, you know, like that's fun and all that, but I got to get up to pee 2 or 3 times a night. And I was like, I'm in the same club, buddy. But so a pee bottle is up here, so not going up and down that ladder if I have to go.
If you spill it, you won't ever sleep in this tent again.
Neither would you, probably. Good night.
And maybe I would be the one who'd never sleep in this tent again.
All right. Good night.
Bye.
In my opinion, the first few days traveling in Denise sucked ass, and getting the camera out was the last thing I wanted to do. So here's some B-roll from our drive west as I explain the situation. I had visions of leaving Salida and hitting Rim Rocker Trail from Montrose to Moab, which is a 200-mile dirt road. Sounds fun, right? But between here and Montrose, we were on our second night of traveling to Denise. The highway between Salida and Montrose was closed, and the detour was way too long. Then it was Friday, and I just don't like competing with weekend crowds. Then the icing on the cake is that it was 106 degrees in Moab. So we opted to stay at a campground in Buena Vista for 2 nights to have the insurance of electricity to plug in the power station, which keeps the fridge freezer working, and to try and figure out this new method of travel. You might be thinking the problem was with the rooftop tent, which is not without faults, but the tent itself was the least of my problems. See, we mounted the tent on Tuesday, packed all our stuff on Wednesday, hit the road on Thursday morning. No camping in the backyard, and no time to test our systems. I'm used to and prefer operating at a high level of efficiency, meaning there's a place for everything, everything's in its place, and everything has a certain degree of accessibility. All those plastic banker's boxes we used were great for making the most of the available space, but living on the road with them was not working for me. And after taking all the boxes in and out over a dozen times in 2 days, I was not a happy camper. Pun intended. I was also without all of my tools, which are in Denny, so I couldn't even splice 2 wires together for the power station's solar panel. In short, I felt naked, ill-equipped, and massively disorganized. My memory of getting settled into our previous vehicles is good enough to know that this is going to take some time to figure out. We did ultimately come to the conclusion that we can't fix anything until we get rid of some stuff. And you're probably wondering, what the hell is all that stuff you're hauling? Our trip to Oregon is primarily because of work. 98% of the time we work remotely, but occasionally there are in-person meetings, and we're also working on a photo and video project. Meaning we normally wouldn't have 3 of the plastic banker's boxes and a backdrop the size of a folded up big camp chair with us. When done working, we have discussed mailing everything that is no longer needed back to Kansas for the duration of our trip. What would help with the organization? Firstly, a slide tray for the refrigerator and a set of low slide doors would be a great start. But until that can happen, I think carrying less stuff and a large plastic tool chest with drawers to store all of the kitchen items would help immensely. Earlier I mentioned the tent is not without its faults, but we are confident these can be resolved. It may sound funny, but there was a learning curve to getting the ladder to lock and for opening and closing the tent. In real time, I think we have things figured out now. We also didn't bring a warm enough blanket as it was still chilly at elevation, which is easily resolved. Then finally, the 2 inches of memory foam padding is not enough for us, and we found nice 30 by 80 sleeping pads on Amazon but they would need to be rolled up, and there's not enough space until we par down our belongings. Over the years, we have found Sundays are a nice day to log miles, because with any luck, you arrive at a destination just after the crowds leave. I know it sounds cold to say things like this, but it's true. After you've experienced amazing places on weekdays, it's hard to want to compete with the weekenders. It's just a reality. Now, I would be remiss not to mention how beautiful today's drive was, and I've yet to find a place on this earth that has the wide open spaces of the American West. We drove into the sunset, and after clocking over 900 miles, we found an epic place to pull into for the night. Now, I would share us going for a buck-ass naked soak in the hot springs in the middle of the night, but it was too dark, so here's some footage of what we woke up to. This is what it's all about. We need to find more places like this.
Yes.
And this trip hasn't been easy so far.
No, but this is really nice.
Yeah. Yep. Type of moments you need to remember that keep you coming back.
I think I hear it.
I hear something coming. Well, that campsite was a good find. I've known there's a lot of geothermals in this part of the country, so I'm not surprised, but we literally just reached the point where we wanted to stop driving, looked ahead on iOverlander, and found this really awesome hot springs. And more that I think about it, I think it was one of the best hot springs that we have ever been to. In terms of, you can camp right next to it. There's not a lot of trash. There's stairs down into it. Once you're into it, it's a sandy bottom.
It's big.
It's really big. It's not too hot, not too cold.
It's just right.
Yeah, it's the Goldilocks.
Maybe that's what we should call it.
Instead of bog hot springs.
Yeah, we'll call it Goldilocks Hot Springs. That's our
So,
secret code for it.
I know we've had some challenges on this trip, but moments like that, I think, are what keep you coming back.
Well, last night was pretty epic too, with the moon setting and the stars. I got some really cool shots. They're not perfect because I didn't have, a tripod and everything, but
We have 4 tripods on board, let's be honest.
I didn't get
Our
them
work
out.
project that we're heading for.
I did not unpack every box so I could get the tripods at the back of the truck. But I took some really fun pictures, night pictures with my phone, so that was really
And getting to soak in the hot springs buck-ass naked, that is so freeing. And to know that you're also the only person probably within 10 to 30 miles. Like, that's...
Well, the rancher showed up this morning.
Well, there was a rancher that drove by, and then there was a county worker that drove by and just waved.
Yep.
This is what
Had
I
our
really
naked
missed.
ass rear ends in the water.
Yeah, but they were in the water, though. All right, let's push on towards Oregon. Well, I put enough voiceover work into this video, so enjoy the montage as we finish off our drive to Oregon.
So this is how we end up. Shades of blue and gray. I feel just like an empty bottle. My dreams are on delay. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive and we'll never turn our backs again.
Good morning from, where are we? Oregon?
Grants Pass.
Grants Pass, Oregon. Trip is over.
Made
We
it.
survived.
Made it to the hotel.
That last night was a good night at the hot spring.
It was.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get this down. But yeah, we're in the hotel. It is a god awful mess.
All that crap we had in the 4Runner, the
Now
work
here.
stuff has made it in here, and that spin, you didn't necessarily even see all of the crap. But it also looks worse because it's all unpacked right now.
Yeah. Anyway, we're here to get some work done.
Yep.
Lucy is having so much fun playing with her ball in the room and running about, and she's asking us to throw it right now.
Really, Luch?
Really
Is
fun.
this what Lucci wants?
That wasn't a real throw.
Yeah, but I'm rolling with the camera. So yeah, that is a wrap for this one adventure. There's guaranteed to be more adventures. Just don't necessarily know where. But we got to get back to somewhere. And we have the rooftop tent. And we will dial it in.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun things planned too.
Yeah.
There's definitely stuff coming up.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye. Let me record you struggling to get out.
Oh, there ain't gonna be no struggle. There's gonna be clumsiness and accidents, maybe.
It hurts your feet, doesn't it?
It does. Oh, goodness.
I think you're gonna have to have house shoes at the bottom to wear.
Hey, that hurts the feet.
Thank you. Everybody was like,
Oh,
what was that?
that hurts.
I rest my case.
Oh, now we're gonna show me running a red light. Off my